I've got a tight bra on today, so I shouldn't have a back boob.
Right, okay. Brilliant. Right,
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
right. See, it wasn't as funny as what I thought it was going to be.
Nah, it never is.
No. Right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Two World Podcast. Welcome to episode 2. We're going to do this one on mediumship and ghosts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've missed a week.
We've missed a week, yeah.
So my cat, she's had kittens now.
Yeah.
A week later, but last week she pretended to have kittens.
She did. She was faking it.
She was a fake pregnant, fake giving birth.
It was a bit of an emergency
So I was
last
like,
week,
I can't come because
Yeah.
if she gives birth, I'm.
So we're back for this
trouble.
one now. We've had a bit more time to prepare.
And she's actually had kittens.
Once again, like we're social. You can find what on Facebook at Two Worlds Podcast. So facebook.com/Two Worlds Podcast. You can find one on Instagram.com at Two Worlds Podcast again. And on Twitter, you can find one at Two Worlds Podcasts.
No T.
No T on the end. You can now listen to her on Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
Woo! And on Spotify and on Stitcher. Now Spotify you can find her, but it takes a while to find her. But
I couldn't even find her. I was on my
Right.
lunch break the other day. I was like, nah.
I think the more listeners we get, we're going to kind of up the scale a little bit.
Yeah, so far, I think there's just me and you that listen to ourselves.
Exactly. I changed my category to comedy.
Even
It
Dad
was
didn't
on-
listen to our podcast. He turned it off after 10 minutes.
Yeah. No.
Thanks for the support, Dad.
Thanks, Dad. So yeah, you can find one on Spotify. You just got to keep looking. I'll put some links on my social. That'll be a bit easier to find one.
Yeah, just yeah.
Yeah. So another
teach
thing
you.
is you can send me an email at twoworldspodcast@outlook.com. That's twoworldspodcast@outlook.com.
Aye, send us some stuff that you think we should talk about.
Send me some topics.
Or you can just say, you're crap. Give up.
Well, you could do that.
You're
but
shit.
if you send me some topics, like, really want to get into some conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
So anything
I've
that you're
been
interested
Googling
in.
loads about that 5G, so I'd love to go into that.
5G on
We're gonna
Dad's,
die.
Dad's been banging on about that and all.
But anything. Could be
yeah.
any kind of topic.
Yeah.
And we'll give it a bash.
Yeah, let's give it a go. So today we're going to be talking about mediumship and ghosts.
Because everyone loves a good ghost story.
Yeah, we've got plenty, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah. And we're back in the room.
Again.
Right.
Third attempt.
Yeah, third attempt. We talked for about 47 minutes and then we looked at the computer and realised that it had crashed.
And hadn't recorded
What
anything.
an absolute nightmare.
And then we thought we were good to go again.
And it crashed again.
So we're hoping third time lucky.
We're going to really go for it on this one.
Yes.
I'm
I'm nervous.
Right. So, what we're talking about today, mediumship
Mediumship
and ghosts.
and ghost
Right.
stories.
Thank God for that. We're back. Right, so mediumship. The meaning of
I feel like if the computer crashes again,
I wouldn't
can't,
even obsess over it.
I can't say this. I can't
can't
hear
say
what
this
mediumship
again.
is again because I'm never gonna forget it.
Right, mediumship, what is it? Mediumship is a practice of communication. I'm doing it really fast again. A practice of communication between spirits of the deceased and the living.
Yes. So there's loads of things that come under the bracket of mediumship.
Yeah.
One is that you could have all three, or you could have one. So clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance is seeing.
So you see spirit,
Yeah,
or you see
so-
shadows or orbs.
Yeah, it's all through your third eye. So if you've ever been to a medium and you see them looking not at you, but sometimes they'll just close their eyes.
Yeah, liars do that, as well.
All right.
They look to the right.
And then you
the
look
left.
to if a medium's looking to a right, they're like picturing
Lying.
not lying.
Scott,
They're
Dave.
picturing what's being said to them. So they're visualizing it all in front of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just when you said the look off, I'm like, that's what liars do when they're trying to think of the lie. They
look away.
They're like, I'm going to see the lie before I say it.
Well, maybe, right?
Yeah.
So, and then there's clairaudience, which is where they're hearing their information in their ear.
Yeah.
It's not like a whisper in your ear. It's kind of like inside your ear, not inside. I mean, like in the inside of your brain.
you.
It's hard to explain.
You've got a lot of
And
gunk in your ear. I think you need to get a little.
then it's this
Cotton bud.
clairessence, which is the feeling. So if you ever walk into a room and it's not
And you feel
great,
bristling.
or if you feel someone's behind you before you know, I mean, like, how is that even possible? Say if there was a murderer or a knife behind you and you feel it before you turn around.
Anyways,
Right. So
I
that's the
zoned out.
feeling.
Sorry, I'm just. I've got to get myself back in the room. Right, I'm going to drink this coffee
Right,
and
yeah.
wake up.
You'll be
'cause
alright.
I
You'll be
love
alright.
coffee.
So I'll give a
Right,
brief.
yes, so-
I'll give a brief background on mediumship.
Come
all
on
right.
then.
So mediumship goes back forever, right? For as long as time's began, as long as there's been humans on the planet. If a human's died, you can still get in contact with them humans, with the spirit of the people.
Just
right?
not over the phone, not by email.
No, not over the phone. So,
Yeah.
like, it's even on like Aboriginal cave paintings, they've dictated like the afterlife, and these go back like 40,000 years. So it's
How could they?
It's how could they even know? It's been something that's been there forever, right? It's always been worth. We've got
Egyptians as well. I did go through that
Yeah.
before it crashed.
Yeah, well, I should pretend that we haven't been through
I
anything.
know, but
right?
Aboriginals, but Egyptians did that as well, obviously.
Egyptians, yeah, they were massively obsessed with the afterlife.
And like what I said as well about the cats, I forgot to say that actually.
Yeah.
So the literally Egyptians viewed cats as, I don't know if it's like a gateway or something, but they literally to put them in a very high. Oh, how am I gonna? I'm crap at explaining things, you know.
They put them high up, yeah, high on the list.
Like yeah. So basically, like if in Egyptian times, like if you killed a cat, it was punishable by death.
Shit.
That's how like. I'm trying to find the word, and it's just not coming to us. Cats were special, okay? Don't fuck a cat up in Egyptian times because you'll die.
I'm not keen on cats myself. I'm a
Well,
dog
that's why, because
person.
people are very skeptical about cats.
Witches
and they
always
just
had
don't-
cats.
They don't trust them. Well, exactly.
Witches always had cats.
No, they didn't. It's just
Well,
I don't think
Salem
they did.
on Sabrina.
yeah. I don't think so.
So yeah,
Just goes with a stereotype.
it's got a massive past. So in ancient Greece and Egypt, them sort of cultures, they always had mediums or psychics, which were advisors to royal families and royals and high up ranking people. They were always around, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So they would say, like, they would give premonitions on crops. If the crops were going to die and if there was a massive drought or something like that, they would be giving premonitions to everybody, to the royalty and all that. So they've always been around, all right? They've always been around. Religion is something that outcasted them. All right. Before religion, like were big religions that we've got now, we had a religion called Druidry, and we also had a religion.
Was it paganism?
Paganism. We had paganism.
Paganism's like witches.
Witchcraft. So
No,
Druidry.
it's got different terms today than it did back then. It's
Well,
like
paganism's still around.
Yeah, I know.
You still got pagan witches and Wicca and that sort of thing. So these religions are like they're banging like living off the land,
herbalism, healing.
yeah, all that. Yeah, you can heal off fucking certain plants and all this sort of shit. So you can't eat a dandelion, you've cured cancer. So
I wouldn't knock it. I totally believe that anything that comes from the ground, apart from dodgy mushrooms.
yeah, you don't want to eat dodgy mushrooms.
I think they've got healing abilities.
You got to be really careful.
Listen, if Scott's ever ill, right, he's got bad shoulders, I always put lavender oil on him.
I thought you were going to say you would spike him with dodgy mushrooms.
No. But I'll get tea tree oil.
Yeah.
I'll get tea tree oil, peppermint. No, peppermint. Like literally, like he's got a bad stomach, and I'm just like, I'll put some peppermint oil on, and he's just like, I feel better now.
Put him on him where?
On his belly.
Really?
Yeah, just rub it into him. I swear to God, I was one night. I don't know if it's because I had 2 bottles of wine, but I was ill.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I thought I was dying. I had the sweat, everything, cold sweats, hot sweats. I thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
And then I was when I didn't live with Scott, and I think he had the girls, so he couldn't come and get us. So I rang Mum, and I was in agony, and I couldn't even stand up. And then when I got to her house, she picked us up, and she rubbed me belly with peppermint oil, and within I'd say about 5 minutes, I was cured.
So like me, is his mum, yeah?
Yeah.
So mum's like, our mother's like the person who got us into this, or got me at least into this, because my mum's always been quite a spiritual person. She wasn't up to her till I was about, I would say up till I was about 10 or something like that. That's when she started like watching Crossing Over with John Edward, all that sort of thing. She started to get really spiritual, and she brought that into me.
Yeah, and me.
And that
We've
kind of
always
got
had
me
an
on this
interest
path.
in it.
So,
Always.
like
But-
I said about what?
Religion, because you were
Yeah,
saying
like
that,
I said
obviously-
about religion, religion's kind of put a big hex on it and says it's the work of the devil and all that. I think it's magic.
Made it
mate. I think
cultish, didn't they?
They made it really cult, yeah. So
What were you saying about? I mean, religion anyway. Because we don't. Well, I'm not religious at all.
I'm not religious, yeah.
You were saying,
What about the wars in religion?
yeah.
Yeah, well, basically religion have put it under a cult sort of category, mediumship and all that, and it's massively against religion.
No, it's massively against mediumship.
Against mediumship, yeah, sorry. So the thing I find puzzling about that is they both carry the same message. So like if you go to the very core of religion, it's about peace and harmony, innit? And if you go to the very core of mediumship, it's about peace and harmony. They're both about the same
but
thing.
it just contradicts itself all of the time.
What does?
Like
Religion.
religion, because in every religion it says like, "Thou shalt not kill,"
Yeah.
and
And
all
that-
the wars are over. Well, mostly oil.
well,
and
you don't
stuff,
believe
but-
what I believe, so you've got to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like,
It doesn't make any sense, does it?
yeah.
It makes no
you
sense
don't.
whatsoever.
What God do
I
you
looked
believe
on-
in? It's not the same as mine. You die.
I looked up cult in the dictionary, right? And it says a system of religious beliefs or practices regarded by others as strange or sinister. So literally, if you're Muslim and I'm Christian, right? I can literally say you're a cult, and then you could turn around to me and say I'm a
Yeah.
cult.
Yeah.
So
So it's like
it doesn't make any sense. But anyways, religion, the depths
your
of
Bible's
religion.
wrong, mine's right, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got some facts on religion, right? The 30-year war between the Protestants and the Catholics had an estimated death toll of 3 million, 11.5 million between 1618 and 1648. That was 2% of the population in the world at that time,
Yep.
which is ridiculous. So just killing each other over.
It's like the
Simple.
Crusades, 1095 to 1291.
Yeah, that was a big war.
Yeah, between
Between-
the Muslims and the Christians,
Mhm.
consumed anywhere from 1 million to 3 million lives.
Exactly.
So that's a shocking 2% of the world's population at the time. So
Exactly.
this is just over religion.
So, like, I mean, I only looked up 3 facts, and that was 18 million people dead over religion. So, like,
Religion controls the masses.
exactly. So, Druidry and paganism, just quickly shooting back to that, that was, like, one of the the 2 main religions in Ireland before Christianity, or before Christianity.
Or Catholic.
And well, the same thing. So the fact that I found out, so I found out about St. Patrick, right? So St. Patrick's a massive thing in Ireland, St. Paddy's Day, right? And everyone just gets pissed.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But I don't think many people realise. Well, over our side, anyways, nobody
Who is
really.
St. Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, we do it every year, like St. Paddy's Day.
I don't.
But I mean,
I'm
like,
always skin on
if you go to
St. Paddy's
bars
Day.
and that, it's the packed
Oh,
for
yeah.
St. Paddy's Day. Everyone
All
wears
dressed
green hats
up.
and drinks fucking Guinness for a day.
Yeah.
But like, who the fuck was St. Patrick? So I looked into that, and St. Patrick was basically an Englishman who got sent over to Ireland.
Right.
Apparently he was captured, right? Apparently he was captured, taken prisoner at the island, and then he became part of a monastery, and off he went with his Christianity. But basically what I think happened was, what's conspiracy about it was, he was sent over by the hierarchy of the church to literally fucking stamp out any
Cleanse.
yeah, exactly.
Cleanse Island.
Yeah, and make Ireland, and look at Ireland now. Ireland is
It's really Catholic.
fully Catholic, like basically fully Catholic,
Yeah.
and like they're like dead bang on
Hell
about
bent
it.
on, like, yeah.
Exactly. But there's some funny stories about him, right?
Do you mean like just cleanse, like as in like just
Get rid of everybody.
everyone has to have the same faith and
yeah.
no one can
Get rid of
believe in
everyone
this
who
or
was any other religion. So like there was a legend about him where he was fasting on a mountain for 40 days, right? And snakes kept on coming up and biting him, right? And he was like, I'm not fucking having this anymore. So apparently he got rid of all the snakes of Ireland. He banished them. And he went, snakes? Yeah, we're recording, it's
That's
fine.
fine.
Snakes? No more on Ireland. I'm not having it. But then when we look at our data now, it shows that fossils and everything like that, There was never any snakes in Ireland. There was never any venomous snakes.
So he was just bullshitting.
He was bullshitting, exactly.
There's no snakes. I got rid of them.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, exactly.
I banished them just by the word.
Yeah, by the Lord. The Lord helped me banish the snakes. But no, that's not what happened.
You're lying.
No, exactly.
Wrong.
But it's been put out there that he banished the snakes, but the snakes was just like a metaphor for the other religions that were in Ireland of that time.
Dave, I love how you've written this. Apparently this geezer banished all the snakes from Ireland because during a 40-day fast on a mountain, snakes were pissing him off.
We got short-handed, haven't you? Do you know what I mean?
Apparently this geezer.
Yeah.
So what we saying, that snakes were a metaphor for the Druids?
For the Druids, for any other religion that was going on at the time in Ireland. So yeah.
So where is it now? Modern day mediumship.
So mediumship's coming into the limelight. So that I'm talking, this was 400 AD. So Christianity's been there for a long fucking time, basically. Where we're at now with mediumship, kind of went into the mainstream in 1848 with Fox Sisters. The snakes are fucking back. So
they're not snakes, though.
Well, no. Well, that's another topic we'll give up. Apparently, snakes are the good things. So you know how you call it? You're a fucking snake, yo. Apparently, being a snake is. I'll get on to that.
I've never heard snake as in like a good.
No, I know, but like on the American flag, you've got snakes and you've got a fucking eagle and a serpent, what you call a serpent, right? An eagle and a serpent, right? Mm-hmm. And the fucking eagle's fucking grabbing it and tearing it apart like, you little bastard. But there's a massive story behind it, right? Which I found out from another podcast, Tinfoil Hat podcast. He went into it. It was fucking like,
was it good?
Honestly, aye. So we'll go on to that another time, right? Fox Sisters, they brought spirituality at home, right? 1848, started hearing knocking in the houses. Hello? Is anybody fucking there?
There's the next door neighbour. Keep it down, you bitches.
Shut the fuck up. So they started hearing knocking. They started communicating with the knocks, right? And there'd be like 2 for yes, 1 for no, all that sort of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. People started getting interested in their street. They started bringing all these crowds in, right? Mm-hmm. And then everybody else started holding seances, right? Mm-hmm. And then it just went boom, right? Yeah. Outwards. There's a massive story in the Fox Sisters, but the Fox Sisters literally brought home spiritualism. They were like,
did you say this was in New York?
This is in New York, yeah.
In America.
I said that on the previous one, which just got deleted by my computer.
Yes. So sorry for rushing through this because we've already had this conversation.
We've already had this conversation, exactly.
But we will try and be enthusiastic about it again. David's so enthusiastic he's nearly spilled his milky coffee.
It's not milky. It's actually alright.
That looks like piss water.
What? Yours looks like tar.
Because I like a strong coffee. Anyways.
Right. So spiritualism was born, right? It just went boom, right? Throughout America and England, everyone was doing spiritualism of some sort.
You've seen all the old pictures of people like in the living rooms doing seances, and like there's something like the tables like up here.
Levitating. And
there's someone just sitting there like underneath.
With string. So yeah, the Fox Sisters got really good careers out of it. They were going to like halls and stuff, and they would do seances, and I think they were like your modern day fucking Derek Cora sort of thing. Which we'll get on to him. Right. Yeah, we'll get on to him, alright. So it faded out after World War II. In World War II, there was still a lot of mediumship going on, seances going on. But I think it faded out just after then when the hippies started moving in. Yeah, dude. You know, taking loads of drugs and that.
Well, the 60s?
Yeah, 50s and 60s started fading out again. Oh. But then it came back, obviously, 90s with, like, your famous mediums, really. Famous mediums brought it back.
Well, because I think it's like, it's like an interesting subject. Like, you can't see it. Like, it's fascinating. Yeah. So, like, what we can't see in front of it, and then, like, if people have got abilities to see it, you're like interested, like, oh, tell me more. Yeah, exactly. Like, I want to see that. Mm-hmm. Is it real? Is it not?
I think it's a possibility of real. I think it's 100% real, just from my personal experiences. You can't fool yourself, can you? No. I don't think you can fool yourself. And from what I've seen, I think I just had an absolute coffee mustache there. From what I've seen, I cannot deny that it's not real.
No, I've seen stuff as well, but it's just obviously like speaking to them. And like,
it's so easy for people to go, that's fucking bullshit, that. But until you actually, if you're being really ignorant, unless you actually look into it. in my opinion.
I wouldn't boo-hoo it and say like all mediums are liars.
Aye.
It's not possible, because I do believe that people have like gifts and
Yeah.
they hear things that we can't, or they see things that we cannot. But what pisses us off is when people take it too far, or like they make money out of it. I understand that people do it as full-time jobs because they've got to pay bills, and that's why
Yeah.
they charge people
what we
like
live in,
like
the
people who
society
have
we
just
live
got
in now.
little businesses. Like
Yeah.
you and me both have been to see various mediums, and they'll do it at their house,
Yeah.
or they'll come to your house,
Yeah.
or they've got little studios.
Yeah.
Or they do it in front of, like, you know, in spiritual churches, in front
Yeah.
of audiences.
Yeah.
But people who like cash in on it properly, and every medium I've listed, which I'll get to the list, they've all got books. Like they've all got books,
Yeah.
DVDs.
Yeah, they've all cashed in, like.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%, like.
But
So,
then I think they exaggerate as well for ratings, for
100%. 100%. So, like, can we go through this list of famous
yeah.
mediums?
So famous mediums. My mum she watches all of them, doesn't it?
Aye, me
Teresa
marvellous,
Caputo, who I absolutely love. She's
Caputo.
on Long Island Medium.
Aye.
And
I
she's
quite
class.
like her. I think she's
I
quite
do
genuine.
think she is genuine as
yeah,
well.
I do like her.
I like,
She's I changed that image recently. Like, do you remember how she had a big puffy going back hair and all
Yeah.
that? She changed it out.
Has she?
Aye.
I think because she got a divorce. All women do that after a breakup or divorce. They change their style.
Right.
They reinvent themselves.
Right, okay.
It's healthy to do that.
John
I'm
Edward.
going to go on the blink.
It's fine. John Edward.
John Edward, crossing over with John Edward.
Yeah. He was like really big in the 90s, probably early 2000s. That's when he had his show.
No, I think it wasn't. It was between 2001 2004.
So it's
That's
early
when
2000s.
that was his
Yeah, he
crossing over with John Edward.
he was huge in America, but I think he's been. I think he's a genuine medium, but he's been said to have done some cold readings.
Yeah.
And when he was doing his show, the good stuff would be edited in, and all the bad shit, all
like,
the misses would all be hide out.
If he did like a massive audience, what was I saying?
You lost your track of thought.
I do this all the time. My brain just freezes,
So
and I'm like, what?
Yeah, so if he did a massive audience.
Yeah, so it's called cold reading. So
Yeah.
I googled this as well, and I'm not saying like all mediums are fraud
Yeah.
if they do this, but from what I've read, because you've got to look. As much as I believe in mediums, I've also did research and seen how like they maybe be fake.
Yeah.
What tactics they use,
Yeah.
so they've got to be confident
Yeah.
with people. And like obviously if you stand there and go, oh shit, I got that wrong, oh I'm a fake, sorry.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
When I was training,
and crumble.
right, when I was like training to be a medium, like when I was going to like circles and that, they advise you like you're gonna get shit wrong. You're gonna get shit wrong all the time because you're fighting with this obviously your voice and your brain, your monkey voice. That's how I was there. And then you've got this other voice where you're getting the information from, and you've got to distinguish between which voice is which. But
Right.
like a medium like John Edward of that stature should be able to bang straight away, and shouldn't. This is the part I don't understand about mediumship, and I've never been able to understand it, is misses. How do you get a miss? If you've got a clear connection, how can you get a fucking miss?
Well,
And,
the
like,
hits.
Yeah.
So I'll go on to the hits. So cold reading, it's like a technique. So basically, it's a popular device used by mediums who employ a high probability guess about a person and then pick up on a signal as to whether their guesses are in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's what you call shotgunning. So
Yeah.
they'll shotgun questions. Like, so if you've got a massive audience,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've like from watching these programs, people will say, who has the problems with the knees? Or who's complaining of back pain right now?
Yeah.
Like that's like a like that could apply to anyone.
Yeah.
So people could be like, that's me or something. So like they'll like try to narrow it down so
Yeah.
little things will resonate with different people.
Yeah.
So I did a bit of research, right? So I watched this YouTube video and it showed us like a montage of loads of different famous mediums,
Right.
and they all say the same thing, and I was like, fuck, because there's people I watch and I go, they're so brilliant, like how could he know that about that person? I really believe it. But then watching them all do the same thing together and say the same thing, I'm thinking, like we're being conned here, like.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically what they were all saying was, who was the name J or James or a G sounding
so like
name.
they're broadening the whole fucking spectrum
Yeah,
of
so
names.
I mean, I'll do the thingy. Hang on. So there's maths behind it, right? And maths not my my
Please
strong
share.
point. But say like, so say they'll say who's got the name J or James or G sounding name.
Yeah.
That's in spirit.
Yeah.
That's in spirit. So say we've got 2 J sounding names in our
Yeah, immediately.
family straight away. So whether the deceased or living, but you've got that connection to them. So a day will pop in your head and you'll be like, oh, that could be me.
Yeah.
So all they've got to do is Google. So the top names over the past 100 years,
Yes.
male names are James, John, and Robert.
Right.
So like they could go, I'm getting a J,
Yeah.
or they'll be like, I know, and then so they'll leave it open. So like the sitter will go, I know a James or I know a John.
Yeah, I
and
know
they'll
what
go,
you mean.
yeah, right, okay, well it was the J saying it sounded a name, or they'll say G,
Yeah.
and they'll be like, I know a Gerald or something.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
exactly,
mean?
yeah,
And they'll be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's spirit are telling me J or G.
Yeah, exactly.
Same for female names.
Right.
So the top female names in the past 100 years were Mary.
I've had Mary hide at me millions of
So
times.
many times. So they go Mary, Marie, Maria.
Aye.
And stuff like that. So that always comes up, and they were all saying it. And I was like, "Fuck!" They're all doing it. They're
Aye.
all saying J,
Yeah.
the J sounding name, or Maria,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Marie. So 38% of the top 200 names in America start with a J or a G. So that's 1 out of 5.
Really?
1 in 5. That's 19%.
19% of getting a hit
But yeah.
just by throwing a
So say
fucking-
you've got a family, right? That like obviously discount your in-laws and stuff.
Yeah.
So your probability of having like the odds that 4 people in that family will have a name starting with J or G. And that's just on your half of the family, not your in-laws.
Yeah.
So say you have an audience of 250 people,
Mm-hmm.
there'll be approximately 1,000 J or G named family members represented. And think if those 250 people wanted to speak to a deceased loved one, so every single person, like 250 people, are wanting to
Yeah,
speak.
it's me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can take that.
And then you've got to look, right? Also, the most common deaths
Right.
are heart disease and cancer.
Yeah, tell us about
So
it.
somebody's going to be like, my granddad was a Jeremy or
Yeah.
something, or
He died of a heart attack.
a Jean,
Yeah.
and he died of like, yeah. Or they'll say like, I mean, especially with old people, I find like everyone, they've just got to look at you and guess your age to know that you've probably got a deceased like grandparent.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something.
Exactly.
And you know, when we get
It's
old.
all cold reading, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to have a bloody knee problems or back pains.
Yeah.
Was he suffering from back pains? No. Stomach pains? No. Knee pains? Joint pain? Did he have a walking stick?
Toe pains?
Was he nearly dead? Do you know what I mean? So it's just like all guessing
Did
games.
he have pain?
Anyways, so
Yeah. I mean,
they'll throw shotgun questions to the audience.
Yeah.
And so basically, it's high probability guesses. So
Yeah.
it's going to connect. It's going to resonate.
I can't say it either. Regnate. You've
Resignate.
Resignate. You
With
fucked me brain up
someone.
there. And then if they don't get it right, they
Yeah, so if they don't get it right, they play the blame game.
Aye.
So they can just go, oh well, that's just what spirit are telling me.
Yeah.
Like
I believe them. I don't believe you.
yeah, that's what they're telling me. I can only give you the information they're giving me.
Exactly.
Go away and think about it. It might come back to you later.
Exactly.
Or go and ask a family friend. It'll come back to you.
So, I mean,
So that way they're not taking blame for it, just being a shit liar.
exactly. So, the other thing, yeah, they can say like fucking take it away with you, which is like, I mean, I get that a lot. Like if something doesn't resonate with me, they're literally like, right, well, take it away with you, think about it, and like I think that's never a good thing.
What else? Also, Lane, is that I can't even speak because I'm that tired today.
Yeah.
Especially with me when I've had personal readings as well.
Yeah.
So like they'll read your face, like your body language, but they'll also read your face as well. So if they think they're getting hit, so they'll say, "Does the name like Bill?" If you like, who's Bill? And you'd be like, if you pull a face like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, or like a Bob. I'm getting the Bill of the Bob, or but it's a Buzz sounding name.
Stephen.
Take it away with you.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah, sorry,
exactly what I
yeah.
meant. Yeah. Now, what we've got to stress is that all fucking mediums aren't like this.
No, I
Like,
know.
yeah. So just for debate's sake, like
It's just like to look out for.
exactly to look out for.
Because if that many mediums are doing it, like, after the video I watched, I was like, shit. Because now if I go and see a medium, I'm going to be looking out for these.
Well,
I
exactly.
just want to have like a proper poker face.
Now
Just
I've
not
had
give them
some.
anything.
I've had some really fucking good readings, and I've had some pretty shit readings where like I've been in there not long at all, like fucking 20 minutes. Like in my opinion, a reading should be like fucking an hour and a half. and it should be more like a fucking counselling session. Should be like, if you've got a not like counselling as if
No, I know,
but I mean like fucking like
they're there to offer you like to help,
support,
guidance,
innit?
and support.
So if you don't understand, if I'm telling you something, right?
Comfort.
If like say your granny's saying like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, blah blah, I should give you support on what you should be doing or how you could help or what your granny's saying or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't be like, well, there you go, see you later.
For instance, when I went to see one who was really shit, she asked us if I like wanted to lose weight, and I thought, well, I'm fat, like you can see that I'm like wanting to lose weight.
Mean, yeah.
And then she just sat for 20 minutes telling us about diet plans and stuff, and I thought, you're ripping us off here, like.
Exactly.
I'm not interested in hearing diet plans.
I know. And
that's what they're telling us to tell you, though.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
they're not.
They're not.
They're not. You're just literally looking at the clock and you think, I'm just gonna stretch this out for another 10 minutes.
I've got another 17 minutes until I'm in overtime. So.
Do you know a Jane? A Jane is her name.
So I mean, we're on John Edward there. We got a bit sidetracked.
Yeah, but also hot reading. So he does a mixture of hot reading. So I don't think it was him actually, but hot reading as well. So it's cold reading where they're just taking probable guesses, and hot reading is if they've been given like information prior to it.
Got you.
Or they've like we were talking about. What's he called? Joe Power.
Oh,
so there's a lot. Check it out. It's what the hell was it called? It's basically Darren Brown.
Darren Brown exposes him.
He exposes them. He does like it's on YouTube. Really, or you got to just type in on YouTube Darren Brown.
So Joe Power's still a medium. He's still putting himself out there as a medium. But like, if you watch that documentary, I don't know whether Darren Brown just like put it one certain way, but fucking hell, it doesn't look good for him. Does it?
He looks like a total fraud, and he gets so defensive about it as well because really you can see that he's getting.
So search Joe Power on Joe Power and Darren Brown on YouTube and watch a documentary. I think it's about an hour long or something, but
well, this is what I was talking about hot reading.
Yeah.
So he was basically he was reading some Hollyoak stars, doing readings for them. One of the guys came on and he was just getting miss after miss after miss. Nothing was relating to him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he said, I'm getting like a grandmother figure. Did she have 3 sisters? And he was like, yes. Yeah. And he was, brilliant reading, brilliant. That's all I wanted to hear.
Right.
So suddenly he went from having a reading full of misses that nothing connected with him. And then he mentioned one thing which was his grandmother and 3 sisters.
Yeah.
And
the sitter got caught up in the moment.
What?
I'm saying, did the sitter like get caught up in the moment, being like, well, that's one thing, so he'd be like,
yeah, he was like, so suddenly he was just like, that's a brilliant.
I forgot
reading.
about everything else.
And then there was another girl, like one of the Hollyoaks actresses, and so this time he says, oh well, Darren, you try and read her.
Yeah, and
he
did
was
really
just,
well.
He did really well. He was like, I'm not a medium, but I'm gonna guess this about you.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, spot on.
Yeah.
And then so that Joe looked dead smug sitting next to him, and he was like, I'll take over. I'm getting like a mini around you. And she's like, yeah, I drive a mini. And he was like, yeah. That's all he said. He didn't go into it or anything.
Right.
And then afterwards, so Darren came out and he says, oh, I'm just going to pull this producer guy. He wants to tell like with something.
Yeah.
And the producer was like, oh yeah, she drove past him earlier, like in the mini. So that's what you'd be calling hot reading.
Yeah.
Just to revert back to that. So if they have information prior. Yeah. And I remember there was when Mum brought this guy, it was years and years ago, and he read tea leaves. He was on the same bus as me, and I didn't realise I was on the phone, blabbing, and I thought, oh shit, when I seen him in the house, I was like, I've just shared a bus with him. Like I'm not going to believe anything he says now, because it's just like,
I don't know if
he was right behind us as well on the bus.
Fucking hell.
So watch that documentary. It was really good.
It's really worth the watch. So
I would say exposes them, but
that famous medium Sylvia Brown, she's no longer with us. She's passed away, but she was like the dog's bollocks of mediums. But then I think what happened was money hit her, and she went off the fucking scale a little bit. From what I've heard, because she was before my sort of time. She was more my sort of time.
Used to rant about her books.
She's read all of her books.
She's fantastic, but she incorrectly guessed. So she was on the Montel Williams show, and she used to like if people had unresolved like murders or crimes, so families would go on there. There was one where the ones I watched, there was one girl, she came on, she was like, I just can't, my husband's been dead for like 5 years and I just can't get it, I can't get in touch with him, I've lost him.
That's a really good American accent.
No, it's not. And then she was like, just point blankly, can't find him because he's in water. She's like, he's underwater. You're never going to find him. And she's like, but this was 9/11.
Oh, shit.
And then she went, maybe, she turned to Montel and she was like, maybe when they were trying to put the fire out, as if like they'd used like water or something to drown him.
never.
I was like, right. So, what's I say? Oh yeah, so Sylvia Brown.
Yeah.
So she got that wrong. And then there was another, there was a couple who were in the audience and they were saying like, we just want to know how our daughter died.
Yeah.
We're just we're at a complete loss. She just dropped to the floor and died. And then she went, she was shot. She was shot in the chest.
Shit.
She was brutal about it as well. And they were like, and they looked at it, like the look of confusion on the face. They're like, no, like she wasn't.
Oh my god.
She just died like on her floor. And she's like, I got it. And she definitely, I feel like a blast in the chest. And they're like, no, she had an autopsy. There was no gunshot.
Oh my
there was no
God. See
blood.
what I mean? Like,
there was no blood.
just jumping in there.
And then she was just like, oh, well, that's what I'm getting. And I was like, oh shit.
Well, you get it wrong.
So basically, in all of them cases, she didn't get one single one right, and she was just useless to the police and everything.
Jesus. So Sally Morgan we've got as well.
Sally Morgan, I like her, but do your impression of her?
Sally Morgan, she grates on us a bit because she's just like
hysterical.
Like that all the time.
It does. Oh, it's your boy.
It's your boy.
Oh, darling, so sad.
I know, and they're going through enough already. Like the kids
like
died,
I'm sitting there
and they're
watching it and I'm getting tears in my eyes. I'm like, fucking hell, calm down. Like they've been through this before. They don't need you mourning as well on stage.
Honest to God.
So, but something did.
She's been going quite a long time now, Sally Morgan. Like, but she's gone, in my opinion, she's gone the money way as well, because she's gone like where she's got like, if you go on her website, she's got like 24-hour mediums on call all the time, and you're just like.
Somebody did say as well that once in the audience, I don't know, I think they proved it was a lie or something, but there was people sitting in front of in front of like one of the guys who controls like the mic and stuff. Yeah. And basically they heard someone talking like as if she's got like an earpiece in.
Right.
And everything he was saying, she was saying like 10 seconds later on the stage. So they were like, what the hell? Like, and this, like they said everything he said, she was saying. But then I think they later said it was false or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So Derek Corey we've got on the list as well. Love Derek.
Oh my God, Derek Corey. Should we talk about him?
Sam?
Because this is the first medium I was exposed to him on Most Haunted.
Yeah, same.
So Mum used to watch Most Haunted all the time, and all would say is Derek Corey.
Derek
Corey. Getting possessed by like spirits.
Yeah.
Sam, bring them through, Sam.
So
Sam's his spirit guide. He helped bring spirits forward. So
spirit guide is like somebody on the other side who helps you communicate, right? Who's your guardian sort of thing. And so basically how it started with him, he came on Most Haunted and he was getting all these fucking possessions done all the time, and then when they're saying at the start of like Most Haunted, nothing on the show is fake or whatever, and then suddenly he was cast out. And
so basically there was people like they told him beforehand, let's get the thingy, where did I put Derek? I've got to make notes.
There he is.
So Yvette Fielding, who's she's the producer now, isn't she? Yeah. She's got some balls about her, because
I like
in
Yvette.
the early series,
she's
the presenter. She used to be shit scared. She used to scream, run. She hated it.
Yeah.
And then now she's like, I'm not scared of you. Like,
I'm not bloody scared.
Yeah, she is like that as well.
Come on, show yourself.
Yeah, she reminds us of me ma.
Yeah.
She's a bit like me mum.
So, but she said, she was quoted, "There is no acting in this program, none whatsoever. Everything you hear and see is real." Yeah. So, however, in 2005, so when he was claiming to channel the spirits, and his acting was atrocious, but so names had been suggested to him before he went into this big like house or this haunted building. Yeah. Two of the names were Rick Edels and Creed Kafer. Right, okay. Which he picked up. He's going to get a Creed and get a Kafer. Right? But they were actually anagrams of Derek Lies and Derek Faker.
That's so bad, isn't
So
it?
he was caught out. Like I would love to see that episode. I don't know if it was aired. I'm not sure. But I'm gonna try and check it out.
I'd love to find out whether it was or not.
So yeah,
I seen the bit where it goes. They've taken it on YouTube, and it's just a little caption where he goes, "Mary loves dick. Mary loves dick." It's absolutely quality.
because it was called Richard or something.
Yeah, it was the guy. Yeah. Mary loves Richard, but he was going, "Mary loves dick." Check it out on YouTube. Try and search for it.
No, but then the one that I found was absolutely hilarious and so hard to watch because it was that cringy. Was when Michael Jackson died.
Horrendous. I've seen it. Yeah.
Michael Jackson, The Search for His Spirit.
Yeah.
So
this was like live on like Channel 4 or Channel 5.
it was
or something.
live.
Yeah.
And
They did like a little seance for him, and like just so happens he was able to get in touch with Michael Jackson's spirit with four
mega fans.
4 mega Michael Jackson fans.
Yes. So one
And
of
it
them
was
was
so
like
cringy.
one of them was a girl who kept like reaching out and touching the air, thinking that Michael was there.
Exactly.
And then the other was dressed up as Michael Jackson. Then we had another one who I think he later went on X Factor, dressed as Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And he was one that was going, "I love you, Michael." Oh. That's actually good. That was his. That was his mouth.
So good.
Oh, Michael. I love you, don't go.
Oh God.
And there's a
so
girl who's
sick.
just like, "Oh, Michael."
Wasn't
She was
trying to
making
hug
that
or
face.
something?
Watch the video. She was like this.
I'll watch it.
Swear to God, and you're
Brilliant.
like, calm down, lass. Michael's not in the building.
I know. Well, this is it. Just,
Derek Acorey
even-
is not Michael Jackson.
Even if he was getting through Michael Jackson, none of it looked real.
No, well, you know, you might have said something like personal, but he didn't. He just was like, "Say hello to Quincy Jones for me." The tabloids got it wrong, and they're like, "Oh, it's Michael. It's really Michael."
It really is him.
So it was terrible. After that, I was like,
Exactly.
"No,
No, so
you and Sam,
you're
you
on
should just go."
you're on your bloody own now. Well, I mean, he's not on TV anymore, is he?
No.
No, that's it.
Oh
for
well,
the
at least he's got some company with Sam.
West
No.
Scouser.
Come on, Sam. I always feel like when you do that, it's like, you know, that, oh God, Bo Selector, I was like, "Come on, kids."
Yes.
Yeah. I bet Sam's
Was that
fucking-
Michael Jackson as well?
Yeah, no, that was
Come on,
Craig,
kids.
Craig
Oh,
David.
Craig David.
Craig
Craig David.
7 days with a pint of lager.
I like, "Luke, it's my new boot." Crab paste.
Me range is kicking off alright. Bong. I love posts like that. So, who else we got? We got Tyler Henry. He's
Yeah.
a newish one. He's a really young lad, and what he does is his mum will. The episode starts. His mum puts him in the car, and
How young is
In the
he?
fucking car.
How young is he?
In a fucking car.
and she takes him to a celebrity's house.
No, he's like a Hollywood medium.
But all the people, he goes around the surrounding area of Hollywood, and he'll go to a celebrity's house, and he'll go in, he'll go, say it's a really famous person, he'll go, "I'm sure I recognize you from somewhere. Is that you?" And then he'll sit down, have a reading with them, and it just, I mean, the whole thing looks staged, but I do like the look of him. I think he has got maybe has got a gift.
How
but
could you? Everything is on Google about celebrities. That's why I just would not believe it. Like, if
Yeah.
I was a famous person, I'd be like, all he has to do is go on my Wikipedia page, or, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
just get a journalist or something to just find out all the date on it. It's
Yeah.
not that hard. I'm a
Yeah.
celebrity. Because the one I seen, it was one of the members of TLC
Yeah.
band, and a bandmate, Left Eye, had died in a car crash.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was just like, "I've got a woman here, and I think she died in a car crash. Does that mean anything to you?" Yes, it's on my Wikipedia page. You know she died in a car crash. It was a global.
You know
A
who
thing.
I am. Don't lie to me.
We were on stage together crying about her.
I mean,
So I wouldn't employ him.
this is why it's like people call it sick. People say like mediumship's sick, but because I think the problem is media's got right in the way
No,
of
because
it.
people think, for the fraudsters, they're cashing in on people's like traumatic events and stuff, especially when people have got like lost children and stuff, and they desperately
Yeah.
want to hear from them.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit
Sick.
fucking awful.
It
like,
is fucking sick.
like
aye.
because yeah, I don't like that. I don't agree with that. But I do, if mediums are genuine and they can receive messages, they can see, and they're just saying it as they are getting it, and that happens to really hit with people.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I've been to a couple where I was really impressed. Really impressed. I've been to where names, like, completely, like, a name, you could have, one of the guys I seen, I just split up with a guy at the time, and he got his name, and it's not really a popular name. He could have picked any name, and he picked that, and then also was talking about the situation that he was going through.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's weird. You couldn't have guessed
Yeah,
that.
I've been to some really good ones. I've been to some that are like, I've come away going, well, everything they've just told us, I already fucking knew anyways. Like, and sometimes I'll go and something I'll really like, I'll be like, wow, how the
They
fuck
couldn't
did
have got that from the
yeah,
Facebook page. No way.
Exactly.
I mean, the thing, if I go to a medium, I'd like, if I ring up or something, I just want to like give me face name.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that they have me second name, because I'd be like, they're just gonna Google us, or they're just gonna go on Facebook. They'll know.
Well, hopefully they won't do that, but some I would imagine will.
But even the last one I seen was, I'm not gonna say it was a she or he, but they were good.
It was a she.
they were good. They got like a surname.
Yeah.
That was linked to me nan.
Oh yes, aye.
It was really good.
Yeah, aye.
Yeah,
because we won't say the surname, but they literally said the surname, and it's like.
And then said like, oh, she was writing in a diary about them before she died, and I was like, me nan always kept a diary.
And they were doing it in like a certain accent.
Yeah, and they were doing it in an accent as well,
which is like quite mind blowing because they were from where that accent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she was. Oh, I just fucked it now.
Yeah.
She was really good.
She maybe.
Yeah, she was good.
I mean,
so there is where you're just like, wow, mind blown. She wasn't cold reading us there.
Yeah.
Like she must have a gift.
Like I've said before, what I'd love for mediums to do I try not do it just fully for the money, right? And trying to get people in and out. Try and really spend some time with whoever's come to see you, and really try and help them with whatever they're going through, whatever's happening in their life. That's what I'd love.
What, instead of going, they've gone now.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. So
Poof, they've gone.
There's a few different mediums I've been to, and literally they've went like, as soon as the time's up, as soon as it's hit like half an hour or something, it's like, oh, and they've gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know they're not gone. I know they're not.
What I was going to say as well, though, about mediums, is like, how can you explain like people like Baba Vanga?
Yeah, I know.
In like Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Well, they were more like
Go for it.
premonitions.
So she did a lot of premonitions that have come.
Well, she died.
true.
I think it was 1996. I think she was like 85. I might be completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But she was a blind Bulgarian woman.
Yeah.
She wasn't always like that from birth.
Yeah.
So basically, she was a normal young Bulgarian girl with blonde hair and brown eyes.
Yeah.
And then a tornado swept her up.
Yeah.
And dropped her in a field. She couldn't see, obviously.
Yeah.
Because all the shit in her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And she said basically from then she had the like abilities.
Yeah.
And she has 85% of her predictions have come true.
Shit, that's a lot, isn't it? I mean, there's something else going on
and
there.
she has not got access to Google.
Yeah, exactly.
Like she died in
She lived
96.
in like the mountains or something, didn't you?
Yeah, we didn't have mobiles and not even internet.
Yeah.
In 96.
Exactly.
So she can't send people back down the mountains to go and get information.
Exactly.
So she successfully predicted the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami.
Yeah.
The ISIS terror group, the rise of the ISIS terror group.
Mm-hmm.
The breakup of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Stalin's death.
Yeah, she was predicting a lot.
But the biggest one was the 9/11.
Did she predict 9/11?
So this is a quote.
Uh-huh.
Horror, horror, the American brothers will fall after being attacked by the steel birds. The wolves will be howling in a bush and innocent blood will be gushing. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Wow. Yeah, that is some crazy, like.
Yeah, because like the American brothers, like the Twin Towers.
Did she predict that in 89?
1989 she predicted that. So the American brothers are supposed to be like the Twin Towers, the steel birds are the planes, and then Bush, who was president at the time.
That's cool, that, like.
So she predicted them. So she was like the female version of Nostradamus.
Right.
Who also predicted the Twin Towers.
Yes, he did, I know.
She predicts that we're all going to colonise a different planet one day as well.
Really?
Because our weather's just going to go to shit.
Fucking hell, look what SpaceX is doing right now. They're sending rockets all the time.
I'm sorry, but I literally think they are trying to colonise a different planet, because I think we're in the end times.
Really?
Yeah.
I
don't think.
I think our planet's fucked, but only because we fucked it.
Yeah, we have.
We 100% fucked
This
it.
is what me and Scott were talking about this the other day. You know, all them protesters in London who are like, was it apocalypse, like preventers or resistors or something? And they literally had like London on standstill.
Yeah.
And they affected 500,000 people commuting to work and stuff. Cause
Wow.
did you not read about it?
No,
They were
no.
protesting in the middle of in London, and 500,000 people were affected, so they couldn't get the jobs and everything. And Scott said, "How is them protesting about like what's it called, global warming and stuff?"
Yeah.
Because basically all they've done is contributed to it. So, you know, buses that are at a standstill,
Yeah.
all the fumes,
Yeah, great.
the pollutants,
Well done.
more, yeah.
So, like, global warming, right? I feel like global warming is just a planet, like, change anyway. I think it happens anyways. I think regardless whether we're here or not, planet cools down and it fucking heats up. It goes through cycles constantly.
I think we're gonna
If
get.
you actually look into it, it's happened throughout time.
I think the way we're gonna go is a comet.
I think it's literally just a way of making money for the government. They tax everything. Tax everything.
They don't tax cyclists
Tax
on the bloody
every
roads.
Tax fucking cars. Like ridiculous
They,
taxing
they
for
tax
cars
you to
now.
take your bins away, which
They tax you for everything, man.
now they do every 2 weeks. Very frustrating.
No more tax.
No more tax.
That's ridiculous, man. It really is. Like
The taxi on tampons.
I mean, you're paying for police that aren't even on the fucking streets, man.
No, I know.
You're paying. I don't know what you're paying for, man. They're not around my area. I'll tell you that now. So, right, we're gonna swiftly move on to ghosts.
Yes, because I think we've covered medium. Well, we'll briefly cover. I think we've probably listen back and go, oh no,
We've forgotten everything.
I've
but
forgotten everything.
I'm not being funny.
All the
but
mediums are going to be like, no,
I know, but
unfollow.
I know, but
We're not offending anyone though. Well, everyone gets offended these
Everyone gets
days.
offended by
Everyone gets
anything.
offended. Straight on Facebook.
so I mean, if you want to get offended, it's completely
Just
up to
fucking
you.
get a life, man.
I know,
Life's
stop
too
being
short to
offended.
just fucking get offended all the time.
What we need is mediums. You need to just start proving people are wrong. Stop being after the money all the time and prove
But it's
people
not,
are
you
wrong.
can't put them all. You can't tarnish them all with the same brush.
No, I know.
Because that's just like, yeah. Anyways, ghosts.
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 Right, we'll go on to ghosts. We've got some ghost stories.
Actually, do you
We?
want to say it because this ties
What?
into your mediumship? So when was the first ghost you've seen? Because
I've seen
well,
loads.
I know we talked about Shymore last week in the in the haunted house. Was that where you first seen? Because we lived
The
in
haunted house. Yeah, that's
Yes.
when I first started.
So you tell us, and then I'll tell you, and then we'll tell you experiences Mum had.
Right. Okay.
And
So
Lee.
my first experience with ghosts was, I lived in Shymore. I had a room on the top of the stairs, and my room had no door. Right.
Did it not?
It had no door for some reason. Everybody else had a door. I didn't have a door, and my bed was opposite the hallway. So if I turned over, I could look straight out on the hallway.
This was the small room. That's where all
Small
the
room,
activity was.
and
I know it wasn't.
no, it was the big room.
Well,
Actually, it was fucking most
was-
of
it was the
upstairs,
whole
actually.
house.
Yeah. So, anyways, what happened was I must have been about 8, something like that. I remember it. I remember it really well, like vividly in my mind. And I remember turning over and just opening my eyes, and there was a man on the stairs, a man on the top landing, and he was like in Greek clothing, and I was like he was, what you call it, a toga?
A tour guy,
I
yeah.
just absolutely smacked the microphone. He was wearing a toga, and he had like a gold clip.
Didn't he have white hair as well?
He had white hair, he had a white beard, and he was just staring at us. And like,
Fuck that.
fuck that shit. I might have been even younger, you know. I think I was even
I
younger.
think you were
it
about
was,
6 or
I think it was about
something.
5 or 6. And I was just like, and then the first natural thing you do is hide the cover straight over. So hide the covers over, open back up, and fucking nobody there. And I told my mum about it in the morning. My mum was just like, oh, "You're dreaming." And I was like, "I know fine well I was not dreaming.
Yeah.
I just know I wasn't." There was loads of different things that happened at around the same time. During that time, we moved rooms with each other quite a few times over the space of like a year or 2.
I moved into that room.
Yeah, you
that
moved into that
exact
room. I
same
moved into
room.
the other room. I woke up in the middle of the night again. I don't know how I used to wake up in the middle of the night, but it was just like, as in, boop, you're
Instant.
awake, and then I was
So did
looking
I.
around, and there was literally a see-through woman sitting on my windowsill, She had her legs crossed. She was in like a Victorian type of clothing. She was just looking straight forward. And what was weird about it was she had a movement around her. So I seen her, and she was see-through, and then I could see where she was. I could see her background of where she was, and she was sitting on a bench waiting for a train, and I could see there was a clock hanging down.
Hell.
And she never seen me. She never looked at us, but she was just going about whatever she was doing.
I wonder if that was the
just
same woman
random
as
as
I
fuck.
seen, because in that same room, no, the little room where you seen that guy. So when we moved rooms and I was in there, I used to, that little, it used to be a little horrible little squeaky wooden chair,
Right.
and it was right next to my bed. And I remember, I'll never forget it. Woke up one night, turned over, and I described it back then as I do now.
Yeah.
Old woman in Victoria clothes. It looked like she was wearing a shawl.
Right.
And her hair was up in a bun, but the way she looked, she looked like a sketch drawn.
Right. Okay.
It was weird. She was see through, but like our outline looked like a sketch drawn.
Sounds like the same sort of thing.
But she had I remember she had white hair in a bun, a shawl on, and a long dress, but I couldn't see her feet, and she
Right.
was just sitting staring at us.
Right.
And I remember turning over, getting the blanket like you did, and going and turning over, and then when you hide so much under the blanket that you
And you're
can't breathe, and
panicking.
you have to make a little peephole so you've got
Yeah.
air to breathe, and I
Yeah.
was shaking.
Yeah.
But there was loads of activity in the big, because me and my sister used to share a room, which is the big
Yeah.
room. There was loads of activity in there
Yeah.
before I moved into that little one.
Yeah.
The
The hi-fi,
hi-fi, so we used to have a hi-fi in that room.
which is like a CD player.
yeah,
Right?
and if we went at school through the day, it used to just blast by itself,
It used to
didn't
come
it?
on at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and
full
3 o'clock,
blast,
full blast, and
full
the
blast.
TV
Yeah.
in the room, because we
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
have a tiny little TV back
So
then.
loads of like electrical equipment used to just go off all by itself.
Yeah.
We had a plant pot in the living room that constantly somebody used to go up to it and flick it
Yeah,
like that, and it used to go ping
yeah.
all by itself, and it would happen like maybe 3 times a day, just ping.
What else did
No
you see?
radiators around it or anything like that. That would like I always look for what could be affecting it, what could
Yeah.
make it do that. Do you know what
Ma-
I mean?
Mum
a
did-
skeptical type of view.
Mum did tell us one time that she was just in the house, because she never really believed it back then when we were kids.
Yeah.
But she remembered one day she was just like, I think she was looking out the window or something, and just out of nowhere, a feather just came down like from the ceiling and just dropped by her feet.
Oh, inside the house.
Yeah, inside the house. And she's
That's
like, well, it
weird.
didn't come from a bloody pillow, because I've just watched it come from the ceiling. Like, it
That's
was a
weird.
feather. And then when she really started believing that shit was going on in the house is the time where we all slept out at grandma's.
Yes.
So
aye.
she'd been on a night out, but my mum never used to drink.
No, I know.
You
she
should
used to
have
drink
like
water,
one
didn't she?
wine or
Yeah.
2 wines.
And then she drink water for the rest of the night.
Yeah. And she got home and she's just gone to bed. Must have been about 11 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
And then she heard kids laughing on the hallway outside the door, like hee
Yeah.
hee hee, like
Yeah,
little
yeah,
giggling kids. And she said, I remember sitting up going, will you bloody shut up and get back to bed? And at that point she realised we were in the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We were staying at grandma's that
How
night.
freaky
And
is
then
that?
she just went, oh my God. And then like literally, and she said mine had stopped.
Yeah.
The noises stopped,
Yeah.
but she hid under her bed the whole night, like she under her
Yeah, I'm getting
blanket.
goosebumps. It's
I
weird,
know.
that, innit?
And then there was a time where Michelle, older sister, so she was lying on Mum's bed reading magazines.
Yeah.
And Lee, my little brother, was only a baby. He was just crawling at this point. So there was a baby gate
Yeah.
on the top of the stairs and on the bottom.
Yeah.
And so Michelle was supposed to be watching upstairs while my mum was doing the hoovering downstairs.
Yeah.
And he was just playing with his toys on the landing. And then all of a sudden, my mum screams up the stairs for Michelle. She went, "You're not watching him. How the hell did he get down here with all these toys?"
Oh shit! Yeah. Yeah. I
And
know
Michelle
all
went,
this.
"What are you talking about?" Because it happened in seconds. And she went, "I'm just I never did anything. I'm literally reading magazines on the bed." And the whole stairgate had been twisted at the top of the stairs. She said like it had been twisted off.
Wasn't he in
there's
his cot?
No, he wasn't in his cot. Or was he?
right. I'm sure he was in his cot asleep. I'm sure he was in
No,
his
because
cot.
Mum said he was playing with toys, because he literally was at the bottom of the stairs with all of his toys in his hands.
Right.
So he'd gone from like the top of the stairs to the bottom of the stairs with all his toys, but the stairgate downstairs was still on. It was just the top one that had been twisted off.
So the other thing was what my brother used to see when he was a young'un. So he must have been about 2, 3.
No, I was 3.
Was he? And he used to constantly run crying to my mum and his dad and say, there's a man staring at us.
No, he had red eyes. So he said, "I don't like the man with the red eyes. Don't like the man with the
Yeah.
man with the red eyes."
Yeah.
and it was a suitcase.
Yeah.
I mean, how did he didn't even know what a suitcase was, but the way he described it
Yeah, exactly.
was like a man with a suitcase. So do you want a bit of this slush?
No, I'm sweet.
So I'm drinking a slush. It's very nice outside.
It's yeah, it is. So so we've done. I mean, that's most of our freaking stories, isn't it? You've seen a woman in a chair. You've said that. Yeah, fucking hell. We've had plenty. Like.
Well, what else did you say?
I've seen loads, man. I mean, like, this is just the fucking tip of the iceberg. But like, from like moving from all that shit in Chamois, like even the fucking dog trash in the kitchen.
Oh shit! Yeah, the
That
dog.
dog was a fucking puppy.
We
Like,
had
it
a
was
dog
impossible. I've got pictures. I'll put pictures on screen.
Have you still got the
I've got
pictures? It
pictures.
was called Tarn, and
What an awful name for a dog.
I know Tarn. I don't know why, but my mum came back one day, and I swear, how the hell could that dog jump up on the bench?
Yeah,
I don't
you're
know.
talking
It was
like a metre and
tiny.
a half high or something.
And the
it was a
whole
little
kitchen
puppy.
was trashed.
And this dog was like absolutely. When my mum come in, she realised that the kitchen was fucking trashed. The dog was just like quivering in the fucking corner.
Yeah.
And my mum ended up getting fucking rid of the dog. She ended up
she said-
rehoming it.
It went to a farm.
Yeah, but like she.
To be fair,
But-
Mum's given away every single animal she's ever had.
I know, stop getting animals, mum. So.
Hasn't she? The only cat she's ever kept was the one I give to her.
I know. So like, I mean, we could go into like how I started mediumship, but that's a fucking long old story. That it's a really you're like, nah, let's not fucking go into that today.
Well, no, it's a podcast on
Well,
me.
I tell you what, right? I'll tell you some proof like that I've had, like from my short experience. Well, not short, but like my experience with mediumship, right? Some things that have happened that I can't really explain. For instance, I used to get when me and my last Mel, right? Me and my girlfriend, right? When we used to stay at her mom's house, right? Somebody would used to always come in the room late in the middle of the night, right? And I would always be last up because she always fucking falls asleep like regardless, like 10 p.m. So somebody would always come in the room, and I would feel them, right, coming closer and closer, and I'd be like, and I used to smell like a leathery smell, right? And I'd be like, what the fuck is that? I'd wake her up. I'd be like, what is that smell? It stinks of leather. And she was like, I don't know what you're going on about. I was like, there's a man that keeps coming in the bedroom all the time. He stinks of leather. She was like, I have no idea what you're going on about. Then this cat happened, like, I'm talking like over the period of like 6 months, like not once a night, but every couple of nights, and fucking it got to the point where as soon as I would see him that he was walking into the room, I'd be like, fuck off, go away.
Oh.
I used to have to sit there and do it for fucking ages. And I've been told by so many mediums I don't protect myself enough, and I didn't have my fucking guard up or whatever. But basically, I can't remember how it happened, but I found out he started showing us, like, every time he would come, he shows a little bit more about himself. And I could see his face clear as day, and I would see that he was missing a fucking finger. He had half a finger. Right?
Oh yeah, right.
And I would talk to my mum about it, and she'd be like, I don't know who he is. You're gonna have to ask him who he was. And I kept getting the fucking name Gordon, right?
But we had on Dad's side.
No. This
He had no finger.
So literally, I'm talking like maybe a year down the line. Eventually, I was sitting in my grandma's, and we're looking through old pictures of family members. My grandma's got all the pictures of all family members, and there was this guy. There was the guy, a picture of him, and I was like, "What the hell?" I went, "Who's this?" I went, "Who's this?" My grandma was like, "That's Gordon." I was like, "Fuck!" Like goosebumps.
Oh shit! I remember you telling us this.
And I'm going like, "Who was he? Like, who was he to us?" And he was like, "Oh, it was like distant family member, brother, or something like that." She says he died in the war. And she says he had no trigger finger on his right hand, because he lost it. He lost it when he was making shoes. He was a shoemaker, and I was like, "That's why he fucking smells of leather."
Oh
like,
my god, Dave!
And I was looking at my mum, I was looking at me, and like this was like months of torture, not knowing who this guy was.
And that
I was
would have
like,
confirmed
what the
it.
Fuck, and that confirmed it for me. Another one, which has been quite recent, is Mel's side of the family, all skeptics. Like, don't believe a thing of it. Like, brought up Catholics and all that sort of thing, right? And anytime I try to talk to them about it, it's just like, whatever, shut up.
Yeah.
So Mel knows what I do, right? And Mel knows how I like connect with people and blah blah, right? One night sitting with Mel, and I says like, look, your granddad's here. He wants to talk for a bit. And she was like, yeah. And like, we'll talk, and I could say our granddad as if he would. Our granddad was like a prominent member of the family. He was like the number one.
Have you met him before?
Never met him.
No,
Never met him. I only heard like pre-fucking stories, but this guy was standing fucking in front of us, and I could see him. I could hear the way he talk. I could see his fucking chin wobbling when he was talking to us. He was showing us his arms. His arms were dead thin, but they had like sagginess to them.
Yeah.
Showing us he had a tattoo. His skin on his hand was all fucked up. Later I found out that he had some sort of skin graft or something like that. He had something to do with his hand.
So you could see him in detail.
Massive detail, right? He was talking about where he lived. So me and Mel the next day ended up getting it on maps, and exactly how he painted it, like a picture. Exactly how he painted it. We looked on the maps and it was fucking nearly the same fucking church and everything, about where his mum was from and all this sort of thing. One thing he did show us, right, and I'll never forget, he was showing us like this piece of gold that he had around his wrist, and he was showing us on one of his fingers there was a red ring. And I was going to Mel, like, there's a golden ring and it's got a ruby stone. And I says, he's showing us this fucking ruby stone. And she was going like, I've no idea. Right? We left it, right? And I'm talking like 6 months later, right? I was at Mel's mum's, and Mel's mum went upstairs with the older brother, right? And for some reason I was going upstairs to check on the girls. The girls were upstairs. And a mum was talking to the brother and says, now, she pulled up her jewelry box, and she pulled out the fucking red ruby ring and went, this was your granddad's, he wore it every day and I want to pass it on to you. And fucking my head nearly exploded. I was just like, what the fuck?
See, you've obviously got a gift order.
There's something there.
It has to be, like, if you're seeing all this shit and then you're like...
I ran downstairs to Mel and I was like, your mom's just pulled out a red ruby ring. What was I telling you? She was just like, so? And I was like, oh, fucking hell.
It means something. Massive. I keep seeing this shit in my head. I'm not making it up.
Yeah.
You've obviously got something. This is what I'm saying. Like, so mediums do, like, there's genuine mediums out there who, like, you get images and you can't explain them, but for some reason... you get people are like, whether it's spirit showing you images or whatever.
It's a mental muscle, and the more you work with it, the stronger it becomes. It's as simple as that. And I mean, I've done readings for people. I've done readings for my mate where fucking 50% what I was saying was absolute fucking gobbledygook, and another 50% he was going, yep. But then I don't know.
No, but you've said something to me before, which is what another medium said to us, who died in the motorbike crash. It's a guy I used to go to school with, and I was like, I don't know it, but I've been asked that before in a reading, so it's got to be someone who keeps coming around us. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think anyone's died in the I don't know, it might be from my past life or something, I don't know. Maybe it was me.
Yeah.
I think I was a bloke in my past life anyway.
So what's everybody else's thoughts on mediumship? Do we think it's absolute shite?
Well, my granddad used to think it was shit, and then as before he was dying, he seen a little boy sitting on my grandma's sofa and said, who's that little boy? And my grandma, you don't remember? Well, I lived with granddad when he was like dying.
Yeah, he was dying of bowel cancer, wasn't he?
And he used to scare the shit out of me because he said to grandma, who's a little boy sitting on the sofa? And she was like, there's no one sitting there. And then she was like, do you mean Lee? Lee's not here. And he went, I know who Lee is, it's not Lee. So he knew. And then he said to me in the morning, when, like, 'cause we used to sit at the table for breakfast, and he says, well, you turned to grandma, but I was at the table, and he says, will you tell the people who keep walking around my bed at night time to stop because they're keeping us awake?
Really?
And he never believed in anything. I remember having a conversation before, like, years before Granddad died. And he was like, what a load of shit. And he used to laugh, and he'd be like, once you die,
so many people like that.
Yeah, once you die, you go into the ground, that's it.
Yeah.
And I thought, but we have to go somewhere, because what's the point of living? Like, what's the point of having a soul and having energy?
100% your spirit.
Like, we've got to go somewhere. Otherwise, why are we here to learn?
It's a fucking school, man. It's a whole thing's a school.
Well, yeah, I think we're here to learn and to teach.
We're here time and time again.
I believe
so if you come here and you start
fucking murdering people and
you're gonna
stealing,
have to come back, and you're gonna have to whatever you've done is gonna get done to you.
You're gonna have to.
It's all about learning for the soul.
I feel like you have to keep coming back
Time
again and again before you get it right.
If you kill yourself, you come back and you do it again, and then you
I would be careful with that though.
Well, it's true.
I know, but
it's true. It's unfortunate.
Why would you have to come back though?
What do you mean?
Why would you have to come back? Like if you've, well, I don't really want to go down the route of that because it's a massive issue. That's like it's getting worse.
Oh no,
It's getting worse
because
and worse.
fucking Earth's changing, man.
What do you mean?
The whole Earth's changing, man. The energy
No, I
of the
think it's
Earth.
just like I think people are just like they kind of cope.
Because of fucking society.
People are getting worse though. Like not just like humans in general. Like every time I turn on the news, it's just like someone's being stabbed again. Someone's being stabbed. Yeah. Or someone's dead. Yeah. Someone's being murdered.
It'd be so depressing.
I know. It's just like, but people are changing. People are getting worse. Yeah. And like, sometimes I don't want to bring children into this world because there's just fuckheads everywhere, and I get angry at people. Well, I say that to Scott. I said like, your boyfriend. Like if you can go through life being a good person and you don't lie and you don't steal, you don't hate anyone, and you go to bed and you have like a clear conscience, that's like you're fine. You're gonna be fine in the other side, I think, hopefully. Well, but I don't like bad people. And I think they will have to come back time and time again.
They will, honestly. Like that's in the fucking reincarnation. I'm sure is reincarnation in the Buddhism? Is it in Buddhism?
Mum said, like, because I said, what about people like, you know, like people who are born with disabilities or, you know, cerebral palsy and I don't know, just like Down syndrome. Yeah. And I was like, what would they have to come back again? Well, and she was like, no, they're like already like the highest. They go straight, like they are the highest.
But the thing is, we can say all these things, but we're never ever gonna know. Like,
well, I know that's just speculation, isn't it? It's speculation. It's not like this is fact. This is what happens. Yeah.
But I have been shown by spirit, like the showed us like an upside. The only way I can describe it is like a glowing white upside down palm tree, and they were saying like the top bit. Like the top of it was the spirit, and then all the like the branches and leaves or whatever, that was all your lives, and then you always come back to your one source.
What about deja vu? So like, you know, I read that like your life is like when you cross over. I'm not sure about heaven and hell. Yeah. I mean, I've seen loads of stuff on YouTube where people are like, I've been to heaven, I've been to hell, I've touched, like, because the losers, they go, I touched God's hand and everything's so beautiful there and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Or they'll go, I went through hell. They showed us what life, what hell is, and if I don't get good with God or whatever, I'm going to end up there. And I just find that really, I don't know, maybe that is, maybe it is.
I know. Have you heard about DMT?
No.
DMT's mad because that's going on about DMT's a drug where it makes your brain go somewhere else. Right. It's like, you know how acid makes you trip and shit like that. DMT makes you literally have a spiritual experience, and you go and you're in like a tunnel, and you honestly research it, guys. Honestly, you're in a tunnel and there's like fucking beings. You can't explain what they are. They're like beings all around you. Beings. Yeah. And they're like saying it's okay, just calm down. And you shoot off through a tunnel into this other world where there's like loads of different geometric shapes shooting at you, and there's things that you know but you've never seen, and when you come back you kind of describe them. You're literally going somewhere else.
I've heard
and you can't explain where it is.
Well, people who like have had like near-death experiences and stuff, from what I've watched, they all say like they didn't want to come back because this is hell. Yeah. And like on the other side, wherever that is,
it's very depressing.
Like I know, but it's interesting to me. Like it's the most beautiful colour. Like the colour you can't even describe. It's like just absolutely bliss. Yeah. But I was getting back to what I was saying about the blueprint. So Mum told us. Not that it's fact.
Do you mean like blueprints as in
blueprints like you choose the life you're going to have. You choose what you're going to have, what's going to happen to you.
I do believe that.
But then I'm thinking, I know, but why would you choose to be murdered? And then Mum was like, but it's to teach.
It's to teach not just people. You, but the other people around you.
Well, what's all these murders teaching? And like people like us, we're not going to do it. We'd never do that. But
love. the complete opposite of what's happening.
I know, but how many more people have got to get murdered before people stop being evil and it
fucking
feels like
life,
it's never
innit?
going to happen.
It's terrible.
God,
It is
don't
terrible.
know.
But like,
It's-
if you say you go through like you get murdered, it's to teach everybody else around you of
Yeah,
not what to be doing.
I know, but
And
I
a
don't think
sick
anyone
sort of way.
around me would murder.
What?
I don't think anyone around me would be a murderer. I don't know, but
No, I
that's where
know,
deja. But you get deja vu where you're like, shit, I've been here before this has happened.
Yeah, I get
Like,
really bad deja vu.
Have we lived this life, or was it an alternative universe?
I had deja vu like probably a couple of months ago where I was at work and I seen something happen before it happened, and it was the whole point of the deja vu was how it was something really simple, like how I'd react to somebody saying something to us, and it must have been like it was kind of like a stop in time where like I seen it play out, right, and then I seen the whole thing in a split second, and then I started like doing exactly what I was doing in the deja vu,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, my mind was kind of going, what the fuck's going on here? And one of the guys came up with, and she was like, I'll do that for you, dear, or something like that. And in my deja vu, I didn't say, oh, cheers, mate,
Yeah,
but in real life, I went, oh, cheers, mate.
yeah.
I
Just
don't know, it
something
was,
as-
it was
just something
so
as simple as
strange,
that.
like, so strange.
What if it's like, because they say when you have a blueprint, it's like, so when you have deja vu, it's like it's from the blueprint, so you know that you're on the right path in life.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you have lived this. What happens if there's like two alternatives? So we've already lived this life.
Yeah,
Maybe
this is
this is-
going deep.
I know,
innit?
but maybe this is my
deep.
second life. I don't know how many alternative universes there is or
There's,
whatever, but it's just
infinity.
it's
There's
crazy where
infinity.
your mind can go with it. Like
Yeah.
when the thing is, we're never gonna know. We'll all die alone,
Yeah,
don't
but-
we?
Oh, we don't take anything with us.
So we're not gonna know until we get there
I'd
ourselves.
say I don't know why everyone in like is searching. I mean, I do it myself. Like search for money. Like everybody wants money, and money's gonna make you happy. Money does not make you fucking happy.
Aye, but it makes it life easier.
It might make life easier and make you not have to be in this fucking loop of working every day, 50 hours a week. But
I feel like I'm in the wrong life all of the time, and I even said like when I started my job, I was like, this is the last job I'm gonna have before I'm
Yeah.
a millionaire.
right.
I keep saying a millionaire.
But what would you do with the millions?
No, do you know what it is? All I want from life is to have a nice big house.
Yeah.
I could say that I call me own, but it's never your own,
Yeah.
is it really?
No, no.
Well, if you pay, I don't know.
You know what I don't get? You buy a house, right? Like land, for instance. Somebody owns land, right? How can you own land? It's not even yours in the first place to have it.
I don't know. Was that why you paid to have it?
What?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It
But
doesn't-
no, I mean, like,
this is
if
the way
you
my mind works, though. Like,
for a house and stuff, I don't want to get a mortgage because then it's not going to be my house for 25 years. They can eat if
Yeah.
I don't pay me, they're going to take it off us.
yeah,
So all I want is a nice house. That's paid for. It's just done.
yeah,
A job that I love. So like I want to do something that I'm passionate about, and I don't want to go through my life. Like I don't want to get a 50 still being in a job where I cannot bear the thought of getting out of bed today because I don't want to go to
Yeah.
that place,
I
but I
love
have
this.
to because of money. And it's like that's why I want to be in a position where I can do something that I love and get paid for it. But
yeah.
not
I love
everyone's
this.
that
I
lucky.
think this is fucking class. Starting all day.
But then I
absolutely love it.
do like I really like last year I was really struggling with life. I was just like I can't keep doing this. I can't. Like
I've
this
just
is
hit
not my
that-
life.
I've just hit that wall where I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
So I do
Working-
understand why people give up and they just go. They're just like I'm not doing it anymore.
No, I know, because fucking a massive thing is like with these like Instagram stores. That's happening a lot with Instagram stores. Do you hear about that wifey the other day that like she was like massively followed and then Instagram like deleted her account or something happened with her account and account got deleted and she was like a nobody again. She was like
No.
fucking going at her about it, crying on Instagram saying like give us
Really?
back my Instagram account and all that. I need me followers.
No,
Fuck, man.
that's how people get paid though. So they rely on all
Well, that's
them.
their income.
That's their income. So you'll see all these big stars
How
with
do you
like
get paid by followers? Like,
no, because like no
Sponsorship.
So sponsorship. So the bigger your audience is, the more like their products are going to reach
right, got you.
like to sell. So like say what's her face from Geordie Shore?
Chloe.
No, she's not on Geordie Shore anymore. Actually, she's doing really well for herself, Vicky. So
Oh, Vicky
you'll
Patterson.
see her.
Vicky Patterson,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she, she'll like, I follow her and she like posts loads of bikini ones, and
Yeah.
so she'll say in paid partnership with such and such.
Yeah, I got you.
So
And then she'll get paid from that.
Yeah. So well, I think she gets like a commission of like how many are sold
Yeah.
through going through her.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I don't know, but that's how they make the money. It's like
Mental.
all these YouTube stars as well. So if they suddenly went back to zero, they're gonna have no income, and they'll have to go and get a regular job like everyone else.
Yeah, it sucks to be us.
It sucks to be us.
Yeah.
So
I've learned so much from working though. Like, if I was like a fucking rich kid, I wouldn't learn anything that
I'm
I've
so
learned
glad
already.
we've worked since we were 16, and I'm so glad because it makes we humble people.
Yeah, exactly.
Where there's people who are born with a silver
I'm
spoon
really-
in the mouth and little
exactly.
brats.
I'm really proud about where we've come from and where we're gonna go. So
I watch Dr. Phil, right? Infuriates the amount of teenage like American girls that go on there. There was one who was like, her mum was just an idiot anyway.
Yeah.
She was like, I give her £10,000 spending money
yeah,
a month, and she was like, I'm not getting a job. Oh my god, my mum's cutting.
Fucking hell.
She's cutting me me spending money down to £1,000. How am I supposed to live?
yeah.
And it's just, why are you raising children to be like that?
They
She
learn
was
nothing, man.
horrible.
They learn nothing.
Absolutely horrible. She wanted a certain car for her birthday. She didn't get that car. She got a different car, different colour, and she was kicking off.
Yeah.
I was like, you stupid bitch. I'll never be able to afford a car.
Shit.
So just don't raise your children to be spoiled little
Don't
brats.
say you'll never be able to afford a car. You can't say that.
No, yeah, because obviously if you put negativity out, you get
gonna get
negative
negative
back.
back.
You've got to be
Exactly.
positive and attract positive.
Exactly.
But no. Anyways,
Shit.
Shall we wrap
I
it up,
mean,
'cause
like,
the-
we've absolutely waffled there. Like,
I know Mel and the kids have come back, and bless them, they're stuck outside, so we'll
Oopsies. Right, wow. Right,
It
should
wasn't
we do
me.
a social?
It was Sam.
Sam!
Right, we'll do a social again.
Social, please follow her, like and
This
share.
was third time lucky.
What?
This was third time lucky.
Third time lucky, and
I think I've been slipping on a slush halfway through it.
Oh god. I mean, we could have had this wrapped up about 4 hours ago if it wasn't for my computer. So, we're social.
Facebook.com
/
/ Two Wheeled Podcast.
Instagram.
Instagram.com / Two Wheels Podcast.
Yep.
Twitter.com / Two Wheeled Podcasts.
Nay fucking tea.
And you can listen on Apple Podcasts,
Spotify.
Spotify, and Stitcher.
Wicked. Please send us an email at twoworldspodcast@outlook.com on any topics you want to cover. Anything.
Anything.
Well, not anything, but
Well, it can be anything.
right, anything. Fuck it.
Not maths.
No,
Like-
no, different do maths. No.
I want to listen to a podcast on math calculations. I want to see if they get it right.
Yeah, so I just
No.
I did want to cover mediumship, right? And I know we've kind of gone a little bit maybe on the negative side of mediumship, but hopefully you can get the gist of,
It's not the negative side. We're not saying that it's like everyone's fake and whatever.
yeah.
You just got to look at two sides of it.
I'd really love to get a medium on and from a really talk through, because like experience is everything. I've never really went out there and been a medium or anything like that. I think experience would really shine through to help with that sort of point. We've kind of listed some where we can say, well, I know that's not fucking true. So I think it'd be handy getting somebody with experience on.
Yeah, and I'll say, do you cold read people?
Mm?
And they'll be like, I'm not doing it anymore. She's on to me.
Right, well, thank you very much again for listening. This is episode 2.
We didn't think we were going to get there today.
No, we didn't, because of
The computer.
the spirits in the
Oh.
computer.
If anyone wants to donate some money to us, though, like you can also email with
Yeah,
and,
donate.
and be like,
Keep this podcast going.
I'm rich. It's just loose change.
Yeah, because we've got no money to really.
We're hobos.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Hopefully you can understand when the majority's not too broad for
We
you.
say that just so we could get some new technology that actually works.
Yeah, I know, this is a nightmare. But we're going to keep this going anyway, so we're going to keep it nonetheless. And let me know what topic we're going to be doing next week.
Yeah, just give us some feedback in general. That would be
So-
nice.
Hopefully this will be up by maybe Monday night. I don't know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, love you guys. Thank you very much for listening once again.
love, that's a bit strong. I like you guys. Right, bye.
Thanks for listening. Take it easy.
See you next time!
Hurrah! got the